is a test of the emergency broadcast system.
This is only a test.
DJs and MCs. This DJ, he gets down.
Listen to this jockey's introduction to
Two DJs and a mic with your host, DJ Mike
Is that a timetable?
and DJ JP.
Well, get on it. It's your time.
Give me the mic.
Okay, guys, welcome to another episode of Two DJs and One Mic with myself, DJ Mike, and the infamous DJ JP sometimes. Today we're blessed, with another wonderful guest. I was had the honor of meeting her the other day, and we're here with Hannah. How you doing, Hannah?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Doing great.
We're doing
Great.
great. And we're glad to have you. Thank you for joining us. It's always an honor to talk to people in the industry. Yes. So, Jeffrey, you want to do the honors? Before we get started, we want to thank our sponsors.
Yep. Two DJs and the mic, platinum sponsor. Man, I just love James to death. Curator Live, the #1 photo booth software featuring customization, easy setup, share options, printing, analytics, and cloud-based storage. You don't have to have a drive for all your photos. They're just stored in the cloud. You can reach Curator Live by phone, 800-708-0247, and email info@curatorlive.com. Tell James, JP, and Mike sent you.
Oh, please, sir.
Yes,
James
sir.
is a wonderful guy.
Yes, sir.
It's always an honor to see James. But we also want to thank one of our other sponsors, NLFX Professional. And we want to thank all of our, our other sponsors that we are affiliated with, Top Light DJs, EV, and all of the shows that we attend. What is it? Midwest Live DJ. Man, it's so many.
Max, Marquis
So
Show,
many.
all those wonderful people that keep inviting us out to be at this show. So we got all of that out the way, man. It's time to jump right into this with Miss Hannah.
Yes. How you doing today, Hannah?
Doing good. Yeah. Had
Have
some
you?
meetings. Yeah, I have been. Yeah, it's been great. I had some meetings with some SBA coaches, which is fun.
Okay.
But everything business.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
All right, jump in. My question number one.
Number one. So what inspired you to start your videography company, Modern Memoir, and how did the concept come about?
Yeah, so Modern Memoir wasn't the first idea. It actually started as hands, film, and photo when I was first getting started, which is very generic. It's film and it's photo. I was just trying to get as much money as I could when you're getting started. So you do whatever you can, right?
Absolutely.
Then when I decided, okay, I don't want to be the combo package for people anymore. Let me just get photo out of the way. They don't offer that anymore. And now we just focus on video. So that's how Modern Memoir came to be in 2023. I got rid of hands, film, and photo. We stopped doing wedding photography. And then we just focused on wedding videography. And I wanted to create a brand that didn't quite hit luxury, but it was definitely on the high end and hit destination weddings and had that fill. So that's why Modern Memoir came about. That's the whole concept. That's what I've been trying to build, and we've been doing well as that brand. It's been good.
So how did you get into the industry?
I graduated from film school at UNT.
Oh,
So
okay.
Congrats.
Yeah. Awesome. And then I went straight to be a media director at a camp in San Antonio. And that was fun. It was quite a lot. It had a lot of responsibilities and everything. At the end of the summer, the receptionist's best friend was getting married in Deep Ellum. And she was like, hey, you do videos. Do you want to shoot a wedding? I was like, that's different. But I kind of calculated it. And I was like, well, I guess I could work at an hourly rate and do something like this. And so I actually got paid for my first wedding, which is not the usual story for a lot of people.
Not if you don't know what you're doing.
Right. So I got my first wedding gig that way, and they fed me as a vendor filet mignon. And I was like, whoa, dang, if I could get filet mignon at every single wedding that I work, then I maybe should do these more often.
That's
so
not going to happen.
Yeah, I know. No, it doesn't. But, I was naive. Like,
Yeah.
So I was
no,
like,
but we still eat good. Some of them are really good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we eat pretty good sometimes. But to say that my main motivator is food, it might have been. But I was kind of like, this was in the end of 2019, to give you an idea. So I kind of looked into what it would look like to start my own business and tried to develop that brand. That's where Hands Film and Photo came from, and then COVID. So I took the whole entirety of COVID to build a business, to learn how to advertise, to learn how to have a business. And that was kind of my learning year. And then after COVID is when we actually started to get our own gigs. And
so is it just you, or you and your husband that do it? Or
no, my husband doesn't do anything with video. He probably shouldn't. But
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. I thought you were a part of the company.
He's not. No, but he does his own thing. He's kind of like our stable income. He does marketing research at the DFW airport. He loves it. He loves the 9-to-5 stable job, and I'm happy for him. So
not like us entrepreneurs. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we have primarily like contractors that we work with. I'm the only W-2 full-time employee for my company, and everyone else is a contractor at this time.
Oh, okay. So you do have more than one person.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Wow.
So what made you go to school for film?
I really liked it. I actually was looking at UNT originally for music composition. I'm a musician, did live performances, and made, I was in the production DJ world for a little bit. Actually DJ'd some shows.
Okay.
So I did. I was in the EDM world for just a little bit, and then I went into hip hop and lo-fi, and that's kind of where I stuck. But I did that world where I stayed up till maybe 1 a.m. at being like the key person at the shows at the Green Elephant and whatever.
Wow.
But
so did you buy a controller? You had a laptop and all of that?
I had a APC. I had the Akai. And I was doing button.
You did button so. Okay, wow.
Yeah, so a long time ago.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice. It kind of goes together because as a filmmaker, you need to understand how music composition works if you're making custom scoring and stuff like that. So for some of our films, I still incorporate the music composition part of it. We'll customize our scores and stuff like that. But it's kind of fun.
Look, see, you learned something about Hannah we didn't even know.
Yeah.
She might have had a few DJ-ical skills.
What's your DJ name?
XAEL, pronounced exhale.
You
You can look me up on Spotify if you want. There's some cool little lo-fi beats. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's too cool. See, we always learn something new, Mike. All right, question number 2. Can you share a bit about the service Modern Memoir offers and how they differ from, say, any other company or traditional videography company?
Yeah, for sure. So I think traditionally you'll find that videographers have maybe like 3 packages or something like that. I got rid of that, and now I only offer 1 package, and it's a package that I truly believe in. I think sometimes when you see the lowest package, it's a package that's kind of like maybe 6 hours or something like that. And I couldn't believe in that. I couldn't believe you could make a quality product only filming a wedding for 6 hours. So I got rid of it. And then I was like, if you're at least there for 8 hours, you can get some of the key points from the wedding day. Then I was like, well, what if we did all day coverage? Because then we don't have to fight for when to arrive and everything like that. We actually have all the time we need to create a really good product. So that's what we do now. We do all day coverage for all of our brides. They don't have to worry about, when do we arrive and all that, and missing any key moments from their wedding.
Do you find that concept to work, or do people like that better than 6, 8, whatever, 1, 2, 3?
My brides do, at least. So I guess that's what matters.
Do you talk about the pros and cons?
I'm
just saying when of the time frames, because when you say your brides, they enjoy that, or they already aware of what's out there.
Yeah, I think Sometimes I'm the first person they're talking to out of all the vendors, which is
Oh,
incredible.
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's amazing.
It's kind of rare for, I feel like, videographers or for photographers, but sometimes I'm in that position, so it's kind of cool.
That is that you. I don't think we'll ever be able to figure out the science of booking vendors. It's because a lot of people say it's venue first. Some people say it's planner. Never us. But to hear that you're the first person they call is really, really different.
It's very different because, I mean, to book their date, they kind of need a venue,
Yeah,
right? They
yeah.
need to figure out a venue. But sometimes they're so keen on, like, no, we're just going to find a venue that's available for this date because we're really wanting this date. So we'll just book you for this date. And then if they need to move it, they
And then
pay
they
a fee
work
to
with-
move it.
Oh,
So-
okay, never mind. We won't get into all of that.
No.
Wow.
But yeah, so to make it different, what I do that's different is, like, I could get into all the specs and stuff, but I don't feel like that translates to everybody. But it's like,
okay. We have a wedding industry artist. So
yeah, we
they should
do. So
understand.
it's a 6-minute 4K highlight film is what they get all the time. I like to give them quality. I like to give them legacy films. So we interview during cocktail hour their guests and everything, parents, grandparents. Like we ask them ahead of time in the consultation process, like, who's important to you? What stories do you remember? Why are you getting married with these people here today? Like, we have an intense kind of questionnaire process before the wedding day. So even if they're doing like rehearsal dinners and stuff, like, we want to capture those speeches.
So you go to rehearsal dinners.
Mhm.
Okay, that's because that's in your whole 24 hours, or is that a little bit more?
That's an additional like add-on they could have, but the whole experience in itself is one big story. And so we piece together a beautiful film for them so they can look back on this, share this with their kids, their grandkids, and it becomes a legacy piece to their family. So,
how sweet. And Mike, you can tell she's a multi-opera because she's always says we.
Yes,
our,
yes,
you know,
always.
Never saying me. So your clients don't think we're just getting, we're getting the company.
The team.
Yeah, the team.
The team.
So, yeah, a lot of people got to learn to do that because when you say me, that's all they want is me.
Yeah.
Me.
It doesn't really allow room for growth when you think about like the business and how
But can you
growth. Yes.
Can you explain
growth?
why
it doesn't? Well, I mean, you can only go so far and expand when it's just yourself. You actually can't when it's just you.
Yeah.
You gotta learn how to delegate. You gotta learn how to get people to trust your team, teach a team. I think people have struggles with hiring people and trusting people they hire, but I think it's not about like, is this person just wanting a paycheck from you? It's like, are you able to train and have the time to train somebody and kind of make almost like copies of your skill set to,
So that's a good one. So do you hire people raw or do you like to train?
So it depends what their goal is. So I've got two. I've got contractors that, they can do a job very well. And then I get their footage and then our post-production team edits it. But then I've got a corporate brand called Heart Media. And I've got an editor right now that just graduated from UNT. And I'm teaching him everything he needs to know. So he's going to be a W2.
How Modern Memoir does it.
Not Modern Memoir, how Heart Media does it.
Yeah.
So Modern Memoir tends to work with contractors. Like it's weddings, and stuff like that.
Okay.
But any corporate events.
But you have a two-tier plan for either one to, if you want to come in and you fit the criteria, we can find a spot for you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's nice. I like that. So did you find it hard to be a multi-op?
To start trusting?
No, I don't think so. I think a lot of my contractors, I would even say, are even more talented than I am. I think they're amazing at what they do.
I like that. I love that. Yeah, don't be afraid to hire anybody that's better than you.
No, there's no egos here. It's just, hiring people that can help you be better, because it's not all about what you can do and what you can bring to the table. Because I always want to be kind of the dumbest person in the room. I want to surround myself with people who are brilliant and are 10 years ahead of me in a certain skill set, so I can learn everything I can from them.
Wow.
Because that's how you advance and grow. Yeah.
Because if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Right.
So, no, totally get it.
Yeah.
And that's a great way of looking at it. And it should be the only way that we look at it. If it's our desire to excel or grow.
Mm-hmm.
If not, stay where you're at.
Yeah.
And some people need that for their
That's
ego.
pretty good.
Mm.
See, that's why certain people just gravitate to us that we want to sit down and talk to because we feel like they got a story to tell and share some good knowledge with us.
It was another question that I had about that, but I can't remember.
It'll
We'll
come to you.
back.
Yeah.
Yes. So, what are some of the most memorable stories that you've captured that you can share with us?
Ooh, one that just instantly came to mind. Okay, so there was a bride getting married in Pico, Texas, and there's nothing out there. Nothing's out
I don't even know what that is.
Just
That's all.
wasteland.
Is it west, south, or where?
I don't remember. I just followed the GPS and I said, okay.
Did you go Abilene or did you go south?
This was in 2022. I couldn't remember.
Don't worry about it. We'll look
But
it
it's
up.
fine.
We'll look it up.
Anyway, this bride, super, super sweet. They're both like emergency responders, and that's how they met. They met on the job, caring to like this emergency situation. And,
Yes.
and now they both work in the fire department. So for their engagement session, we raced to see how fast they could put on their firefighter gear. And that was a really fun thing. But anyway, gets to their wedding day, and it's supposed to be beautiful weather. This particular bride, bless her heart, prayed for rain.
Really?
She prayed, was like, I just really want a hard storm. Like, I love the rain, and it means good luck on your wedding day, so I really want it. And I was like, all right, girl, let's see what happens. I look at the weather radar that day, the exact time her ceremony was supposed to come. There's a red dot on
Just
the
coming.
weather radar in this wasteland of Pico, Texas. A little red dot just is circling over the wedding venue. So at the moment they're announced husband and wife, it starts to sprinkle.
Oh my gosh.
And a lightning strike.
Oh my goodness.
Did you capture it?
No, because it's right behind us.
I
But
was behind
did the hair stand up on my arm? Absolutely. Did my cameras buzz out for a second? Yes.
Oh,
it was like an
wow.
EMP, which went, bah. And then everyone screamed. We cried. We were like, yay, they're husband and wife. Let's run inside. And then it started to hail on us. And so I was like, yeah, that's a very memorable story for me. I remember
Oh my god.
this was back, so this is 2022, and Modern Memoir came about in 2023. So this was October 2022. We were still offering photo and video. The lead photographer on my team that day knew sign language, and so did the bride. And so with the hail pouring down, this particular venue had tin roofs. You couldn't hear a thing.
Oh my
So
god.
so we had headsets, but you couldn't even hear what was going on our headsets because it was so loud. So the power went off too because of the electricity. So we had our lights on batteries, and we powered the speeches through that. But we also had the lead photographer communicating with the bride across the room with sign language, so we knew what was next because everything went.
So
You know?
what about music wise? What was the DJ doing? Praying?
Praying.
Get a jackery. Get a
Yeah.
jackery, sir. You could at least have one speaker and something going with a jackery.
Yeah. Eventually the
Wow.
power came back on, and they were able to get
Did
music
y'all
going.
get with her and tell her, don't you ever, or if you need a prayer warrior, you call
You
her?
call that bride. Yeah,
Wow.
for real, because it only happened during that little segment, and then it was gone.
Wow.
And I was like, there wasn't supposed to be any rain today, and we
That
just
is
got this
so
little red dot of severe weather, a lightning strike,
That
and
is
hail.
so crazy.
Yeah.
The power in belief.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, yeah, definitely
You'll
one
never
of my
forget
favorite.
that.
No, I could never if I wanted to. I was this close
and
to being
I-
struck by lightning. I
I
was
looked
like,
up Pecos. It's past
Pico?
Midland.
Pico.
It's past Midland and Odessa. I should have known that because my brother was thinking about
Ooh,
opening a
that's out
barbershop
there.
at an oil place out there. So, man, that's even past. Oh boy, that's
was far.
That's a long.
Yeah, that's out there.
That's a long way.
You was close to what? Mexico?
No,
okay. Hey.
That's close to El
Hey.
Paso.
Oh, okay.
Going toward
Yeah,
El
Midland
Paso.
is going.
Yeah, El Paso West.
it was
West.
just in the middle of nowhere. That's all I remember.
Yeah,
And
I did a wedding out there somewhere, a place start with a C, not quite as far as you, but we
Mhm.
were out in the middle of nowhere. They owned all this property. I'm talking about there was nothing out there. If they'd have got rid of us, nobody would ever knew where we were or where we had been because it was just
Interesting.
in a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. And then they had a canyon with a lake off side of this hill at the backdrop of the ceremony. It was really crazy.
So that was what you call horror movie. So do you have one that was more on the bad side that you don't want to remember?
I have really good brides. So.
No, because the bad ones can turn into good moments or good footage or something funny.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you can might go viral with it or something.
I don't really have any bad moments, which is really great.
That's good.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I think it's because our consultation process is so intense.
Well,
It's
I'm just
kinda
saying,
like-
not that it's bad on your part.
Oh,
Something
yeah,
just
no.
could happen that would be crazy. You have
Oh,
any-
okay, yeah. The one of the bridesmaids had a stroke once on the dance floor.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. So here, let me tell you this story. So this is also back when we were offering photo and
Nothing
film.
bad happened, but
No,
I
nothing
was,
bad. No, honestly, because it turned out good still. So
Yeah.
I also try to forget really bad things. I kind of want to relive
I
those.
guess
sorry.
we should forget that one.
No, it's fine. So it was during the bouquet toss, and it was in a venue that had a balcony kind of situation. So the bride was going up the stairs, and this is again while we had photo and video teams. So my lead photographer that day, also shout out to my lead photographers that just happened to be like the exact person that I needed that day.
Mhm.
But she was an ex-veteran, and she knew how to just handle emergency situations on a calm level. And so
Triage.
she happened to be right there when she fell down and supported her, make sure she wasn't going to injure herself, and calmly on the comms says, "Hey," in her mom voice. It was like so calm, and I was like, this is an emergency scenario, but I feel okay right now because she's soothing me so much with her mom voice. But she goes, "Hey, I just want to let you know I'm supporting the maid of honor's head. She is having a stroke right now, but we've called 911. An ambulance is on the way. Can you distract the bride for a little bit?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah, that absolutely makes sense." And so the bride is the bride's turned around. She's about to throw the bouquet. And I'm like, "Oh, hold on. Let's take this photo real quick, or let's do this thing real quick." And she goes, "Okay, cool." She has zero idea anything is happening.
So she still didn't turn around.
She didn't turn around. She trusted us, so that's good. But so whenever we couldn't delay it anymore, it just made sense for her to throw it. I had my second videographer that was downstairs catch the bouquet, so we could delay for time.
Mhm.
And have him come back up all the way around and give it to her again, because I said we have to redo that for the shot.
Oh,
And so we had enough time between those things to get the maid of honor off the dance floor, secured into the ambulance, and the bride didn't know till after her wedding.
Oh wow, that was pretty cool. Pretty
Yeah.
good. Bad, gone good.
Yeah.
But I mean, saying not only bad, it was just awesome, you to have experienced people. On
Yeah.
scene.
No, really.
Like you say, the mommy voice.
Oh my
just-
gosh. So good. And the thing is, like, I think another reason why I stopped offering photo and video and also asked to have an insured planner on the wedding day is that these scenarios like this, because I'm sure the planners that are listening to this are like, where was the planner in this situation, right? Well, there was none.
Oh, really?
There wasn't
Oh,
one. And the
okay.
venue coordinator that day went home at 8 p.m. because she was throwing up. And I was like, what? So it fell back on the media team to make sure things, and the
There's
DJ.
no planner, and
There
the
wasn't.
maid of honor, which would probably be second, or the person that would help out, is in the hospital, in the ambulance going to the hospital.
So,
Oh my God! Well, what about the DJ? He couldn't leave.
He was talking with me to figure out, okay, what do we do next? Because no one's there to tell us when to do the next thing. And I was like,
He didn't have a timeline.
I don't really know for that wedding. That one was an interesting one for
You
sure.
know, you know what this really makes you think about, Jeff, is how with Jody, how Jody talks about
the pre-conversation and everybody getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And with that, there's nothing like all of the vendors having a plan of attack.
Yeah.
And everybody is versed on what's going to take place that day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned a lot of things.
So what was that you said about planner? Did you say insured planner?
Yeah, an insured planner. So not necessarily a licensed planner, because I think that can disqualify some planners. But I asked planners, and they were like, "No, yeah, insured's good." So I'm following the advice
So that
of the
cuts
planner
out
friends I know.
Auntie Sally that wants to plan her cousin's niece's nephew's wedding.
Yeah.
All right, you heard that, DJs, because everybody's always, not complaining, but saying they won't plan it. So not just licensed, they need
insured.
So if they got licensed, they probably are insured,
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's usually, so instead of putting licensed planner, I just put insured planner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, we learned, man. We just keep on. How do you approach the process of storytelling to ensure it resonates with your clients and their audience?
Oh, I love this question. I love talking about storytelling. This is great.
Let's
Let's
hear
hit
the
it.
stories.
Okay, I mean, I asked the couple, I get to know the couple over some coffee, and I'm just first like, just tell me how you met. And then we get the vibe for the couple and how they are as people. Like the type of storytelling process is really going to vary based on their personalities and how they met. Like, for example, I got a wedding in DC in a couple months, and we're doing like a 3-day shoot with them. Because we're going back in, because the town of DC is so pivotal to their relationship. Like there are so many places that they've been to and they met at and they got stories at that we're going back to those places.
And get some footage and pictures. Okay.
Yeah, and so I think that's just part of the journey. Is like when you're storytelling, it's like how can we show the friends and the family that don't even know about these things that happen in their life.
So will you put that in the final product? So questions,
Yeah.
I'm listening and I'm wondering, okay, so where does the photographer come in? Are they there with you or do you work with them or are you just doing this for you?
No, this particular couple, the photographer's going to be with me while we do all this stuff too. So it's kind of like documentary approach to the couple's story. And then like telling it in a way that like it's interesting for their family to hear and their kids to remember. And like, it's like, what aspects of like your first date do you want to remember? You know, like what was the things that really made you think this person is the one? And like, let's just talk about that. And so it's more than just, you're getting married today. How does that make you feel? Because people are just going to answer that with like, oh, overwhelmed. Or they're going to be like, oh, I'm just so happy. They're not going to answer that in a way that's coherent. So you want to catch them in the places that bring back those memories, because then they're just going to be nostalgic and
bubbly,
like, gushing.
melty.
Yeah, and I want the gush. Let's talk about all that stuff. So yeah, that's kind of like the ensuring it resonates with your clients and their audience. Like it's like what's relatable to their story. How can we showcase it?
So when you initially started, was storytelling a part of it from the get-go? Is that something that you wanted from the get-go, or did you discover that as you went?
Discovered it, because if you look at my first wedding video ever, there's not even any audio in it.
What? No music?
No, there was music. There was music. I just mean like I didn't
was
record
it black
any
and
audio.
white?
No. But it was like I didn't know what I was doing with my first video. I mean, the photographer, I remember he cussed me out because I put a tripod in the middle of the aisle like a dummy. And I know why he cussed me out. It's because I'm stupid. Yeah.
Was that just your first solo videography?
Oh yeah.
That wasn't true. That was your very first wedding altogether.
Yes, it wasn't in spite of the photographer. I promise. I didn't know what I was doing.
You didn't realize that it wasn't just about you.
Oh wow!
No.
Now you know.
Now I know. And so we don't ever do that ever again. But I can tell people that story. It's like, hey, you can start from anywhere.
Oh my gosh.
So how did you discover it?
I mean, I have several different video backgrounds. Like I didn't just work in weddings, right? I've worked with a lot of nonprofits. I've worked on chicken finger commercials. I've done a bunch of crazy random things. But the things that got me most excited and most passionate about my work was when we told a story and we told it in a way that either made someone cry or made someone empathize with what the person's story that was being told. And that's what I was like, well, we could do the same thing with weddings, can't we? Like love is such a beautiful thing. How can we show this love in a way that's not generic and very unique to this couple? Because it is going to be different for each one. So yeah.
Very good.
Interesting. So is it a hard sell when you're?
It's not. I don't think so. Yeah.
What's the percentage of couples that get video and photography? Because a lot of times you see just one. I mean, well, you don't see just videography. You see mainly just photography.
I guess it depends on the couple.
Yeah.
Lots of demographic stats could go into that too. because the couples, I found myself in a market now that the couples that come talk to me know they need video. It's not a negotiable, or what is it called? A non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable now.
Oh,
Like they need it. And they know they need it, and they know they want it. So when it comes to the selling process, I don't say much. I let them tell me why they need it.
Listen, and
you gotta listen.
Use it back against them. I got you. Okay. All right.
Because they know they need it. So it's like, why do they know they need it? Maybe they've had a friend that's gotten married that didn't have a wedding video and absolutely regretted not having one. Or maybe they didn't spend what they could have on video and got not the product that they were expecting. So it's kind of like you just identify why they want it. What are those pain points? And then be like, oh, we're your solution, and this is why. What do you think? And it's just kind of like that. So Alan Berg, which I know has been on your podcast before, his Shut Up and Sell More series, awesome. Would highly recommend it.
Shout out to Alan Berg.
Shout out to Alan Berg.
Because he will make you think about selling in a whole different light. And make you feel guilty, educate you, rake you over the coals, and pull you back out and shake you out and say, "Now go to work."
No, and then you'll drink some bourbon.
In the bill. Yeah. No, he was one of our great interviews. But we're here to talk about Hannah today, not Alan. Sorry, Alan.
So I'm gonna skip this next question because you answered it.
Yeah.
So how do you incorporate new technology and techniques into your work to keep telling engaging?
Technologies and techniques. I feel like more it's on the technique side than it is the technology side, because let me explain.
No, because questions are already running.
Okay,
you say you don't need technology. As much technology as they're throwing out to us every day. But go ahead.
Okay, so like to give an example, like I'm in the film producer, film nerd crowd, and they're like, the bigger the camera, the better the film, right? Nope. You could do anything you need with this. And I believe that. Like there's so many like content creators out there that can make really amazing content.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think they're competition. They're great at what they do and they can help so many people. But anyway, I'm one of the few videographers that's actually like, no, let them be.
Content creators.
Yeah, content creators. They're not a threat, you guys. But anyway, so I think with techniques though, like you can add my techniques, I love to use like different things on the lenses to add like not necessarily flares, but like invoke an emotion. So techniques are going to be like a lot of things in the foreground, or that's cute. That's cute.
That's a little microphone.
Yeah.
The one my favorite thing in that is the like the out of focus, like you have something in focus. And then what is that called?
It's just focus rack is what it's called.
Focus rack. Okay. All right.
Okay, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter wanted to be photography a little bit, so I had to learn a little bit of stuff for her.
You got a little bug.
Yeah. Oh, I love taking pictures of people, not me being in the pictures, but I like taking pictures too.
I guess the only like tech thing I could really like speak to is we shoot everything minimum 4K and an S-Log, which that means you just have more color dynamic range when it comes down to the editing room. I think the difference between like fast turnaround companies is that they don't shoot in high quality. They actually shoot usually in 1080p, or if they do shoot in 4K, they're shooting with a baked in color grade because it's faster to turn it around. And that's not the type of product that we do. We have so much intention with the way that we shoot. It's the mind of the film producer for the wedding. It's not just someone who picked up a camera and was like, how can I make this as quick as possible, get as much of a cash grab as possible? Because that's my one thing with videographers is like, care about the product, care about the couple and what they're getting.
Wow.
But
Mike, she speaks your language.
Yes.
Because that's what we always say too. Care about your couple, care about their desires musically, and deliver what you say you're going to deliver. Don't just cash grab.
Yeah.
So wow. Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure if me and my wife are getting ready to get married, and you're speaking to me about us hiring you as a videographer, and if you told me that you were going to shoot in 1080 instead of 4K, then I'm pretty sure that we would have to discuss that.
But not every couple knows
Yeah, most people
knows that.
don't know
They
that.
don't
I know
know
that.
that.
Well,
They
I'm
just
just
think
saying
they're
they don't
getting
know
a
that.
video.
I know they
Yeah.
don't know to ask that, but if they were made aware, well, you know, these are the choices that you have,
Right.
they're going to choose 4K.
Yeah.
Man, we could roll that back to DJing.
I'm just saying,
You know,
Yeah.
you're
But-
saying that,
Yeah.
but I know as vendors, you know, some of us, we really play on people's ignorance.
oh yeah, definitely.
And we know that we should give them more, but like you said, okay, this is a quick turnaround. You know, I can get paid for more, but I can do less.
It's that cheap, fast, or good.
Yeah, and that's what we all get into. It's like when you have a business that's successful, your product will go down, but your prices will go up. And I don't understand why we do that.
I do.
One of my favorite restaurants back home in Mississippi is like that. The food is still good, but it has gone down, but the prices have gone up.
But food ain't good.
No, the food is still very good. It's just certain things that they slipped and slacked on, and you know, I don't eat that. I just eat the other. But it's just, you know, that's what we do, and then we get mad when people stop supporting us. You know,
We become the victim.
Yeah, well, we try to make ourselves into the victim, and we victimizing people every day. Yeah.
Wow. But thank you. So next question, Jeffrey.
Kind of same we talked about. Can you discuss a project that was particularly meaningful and impactful, and why? Since you do corporate stuff too.
Yeah, this is good.
corporate.
I mean, if we want to kind of
Could be a
stray away
nonprofit.
from, I work with, so Serve Denton is one of my clients, and I live in Denton, and I literally live 5 minutes away from their office, which is great. We love it. But I love working with Serve Denton. They're like a nonprofit for nonprofits. So they help.
A nonprofit for a nonprofit.
Yeah. So they help nonprofits get the resources and the things that they need to be a successful
I need
nonprofit.
that number.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need that.
But
for Crosstown.
yeah, we helped with their story brand video. So it was like just kind of helping people realize what they are, that they're not the nonprofit that does the thing, but they're the nonprofit that helps the nonprofit do the thing. Because that was the most confusing thing for the community to understand. So we sat in on their branding meetings, we sat in with their board, and we listened, and we structured together with their branding kit and their Marcom director. We were like, okay, let's try to make this video where people can clearly understand through the eyes of the nonprofits you help what exactly you do. And they were able to show that video to so many different conferences, get so many donors, and that video itself.
And this one goes out to Charlie for VAA to get in contact with them about helping with getting all of our paperwork together for that. It's not a nonprofit, but to try to help with do they work with like 501(c)(3)s?
The Vendor Alliance Association?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm just throwing Charlie. Remember that. I'll go back and watch, and I'll remember. Then I'll text Charlie, but I don't want to do it in the middle of the show. But we do. You know, everybody needs some help with finding out the information. And there, like you said, there are 5 minutes from your house that can help you get your stuff started and get you on the right track. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Man, see, it's a reason why I see people. I don't give a card to everybody and say, hey, I want you to come on the show, because some just resonates about certain people that they need to get their story out and share what they're doing, and the great things they're doing in the marketing, DFW and DC and Cali, wherever she's going, because I know she's doing a lot of traveling too.
Yeah, Cali next week.
I know. That's why we had to get you in a little early for the show.
Yes. So, and that's wonderful. And to add to what Jeff is saying, we're really big on talking with people that's making a difference.
Yeah. Small, don't have to be superstars, don't have to have a million followers, but the little people in the industry that are just doing it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sound like you're really doing it right, and you care about each and every client that you deal with, you know, because like you say, you could be cash grab. I could do it 1080, I could do it 720, but you know, I want to do it right and do it in 4K instead of just giving them something just to be giving it to them.
Right.
And like you said, it's just like DJing. You don't know, okay, I'm going to bring an iPad instead of a controller, But they don't know that. They'll be like, okay, that's great. Come on with your iPad. I'm just going to play straight off the Spotify list, walk around, have a cigarette, and all that.
Yeah.
They don't know, but,
Yeah.
So
a lot of it's education.
Yeah,
Like if you are able to educate
But the
your
ones that do
client-
know, we want to get mad because they call you out for not giving them what you promised them you were going to give them.
Well, everyone's got their own business model that
Mhm.
works for them, and I've learned to just respect it. That's just kind of, if that's how they want to run their business, that's how they want to run their business. But
Can I dive into that for a second?
Yeah.
So, we have this thing in our industry where they hate low ballers. How do you feel about that? Like people say, I'll do an 8-hour wedding or a whole day for $500. Does that bother you, or do you think that hurting your industry?
no, I don't see it as subjective. I think if that's how they want to sell themselves, they're selling themselves short. But that there's so much more than just trying to get the gig. I would want to actually be like, so why are you selling yourself so short for $500? Do you believe that you could do it for more? Like, do you have this like scarcity mindset that's keeping you like getting them at that price? Because you're not really helping yourself long term by getting just a bunch of those low balled weddings. Like, I think you have so much more to give. Everyone does. It's just, do we believe in ourselves to be able to price ourselves well?
That's a very good answer. And I always think that it's hurting you in the long run because you can't take money and reinvest. You're making just enough to eat next week, but you have no money to invest in better equipment, training, classes, anything. So you just, like you say, scarcity. So you have a small pot and everything in the pot is gone. Now you just, licking the grease out or whatever because you ain't got nothing left. But I'm glad you said it because I'm glad we get to ask somebody else in another industry that question because, DJs hate it. They just, that drives them.
Yeah.
They on the roof like this. Man.
Yeah.
Just
I think it's you can't be so focused on what other people are doing if you're going to do well in your own lane.
And the clips are just coming.
And I totally agree with that. You can't. Unfortunately, sometimes what they do affects us all.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
And I think that educating our clients should be one of our top goals. Because through education, you can show your value of what you have taught.
But that's you. But that client doesn't get to you and they already got to Jim.
Well, I understand that, but it's as a whole, we have to be willing, to be, there has to be enough of us with values to be able to kill that type of situation. Because I think sooner or later we all deal with it to some extent, some more than others.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That you talked about branding the other day.
Oh,
so let's circle back to that. So when you have a good brand, those clients are now attracted to that brand. You don't have to find the clients and then convince them because they've already found you. They've already found you, Jeff.
So she throwing my talk right back at me.
Like that.
Yes.
It's hot.
The hot is hot. HSOs, as they say on the ticket. She throwing out hot sports opinions, hot wedding opinions.
But that's true.
Yeah. Wow.
And that really goes back to what you said. You have to pay attention to what you're doing because you can get lost.
Yeah.
And then you start taking away from your brand.
Right. Because you're trying to be all things to all people. And you can't. You got to know who your ideal client is and then center all of your business decisions around that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, love it. So what advice would you give to someone looking to preserve their personal or family storytelling or stories through videos? I know this.
Hire a videographer.
but what if they got them?
Not just any videographer. Because I'm just saying, you got people that do video.
Yeah.
But I would say storytelling is a totally different.
It's a different skill.
Yes, it's different because not anyone.
Yeah.
Most of us can pick up a video camera.
Yeah. It's the editing, really. Your videographer needs to think like an editor, because if they're not thinking about the post-production process, they're just going to shoot and hope for the best. And I think that part of that is like, is your videographer asking you a bunch of questions? How well are they getting to know you as a person, or are they just showing up? I think that, it comes down to the questionnaire and the consultation process. You got to be familiar with them. You got to want to hang out with them, because if you're going to just stiffen up in front of the camera, you're not going to get as good of a quality service. And a lot of my brides are shy. And so they don't feel shy though on the wedding day, because we've got to know them over coffee. And I've sent them like Starbucks gift cards or whatever it is that they like to go do. And it's like, they feel like a friend is coming to shoot their wedding or their event or whatever it is. And that's good for them, because they're going to open up easier. And I don't have to pry any information out of them.
So how many hours do you put into get to know you?
Like 2.
Coffee and then maybe another meeting?
Not a lot. The questionnaires do a lot of the work.
Okay.
See, and I believe in questionnaires. I believe in, I really don't like to have conversations that I shouldn't have initially.
Yeah.
And the questionnaire takes care of a lot of things for you, because it paints a picture for you.
Right.
And it gives you a roadmap, and you should know exactly where to go.
Yeah.
But you have to know which questions to ask too.
Like, here's one that I think videographers should be asking more is about from the DJs.
Look into the camera.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So videographers, you need to be asking what their playlists are, like their favorite types of music. When they just jam in the car, what are they listening to? What's their go-to? Ask about the first dance song, what they're walking out to, like, so that you get the vibe of who they are as a couple, so you don't have any revisions you need to do when they're asking about music. Because if you choose the wrong music choice, they're gonna make you redo the whole video, because you edit to the music beats. Like, if you're not doing the music right at the very beginning, like, it's not going to be the vibe of the couple. They're not going to be as happy with it.
That's that DJ coming out.
Well, it affects the story.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So how long do you take to pick songs, or do you dive into their playlists?
It doesn't take me long at all.
Because you've already got a vibe from what you felt. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, let's say like Music Bed, for example. You go on Music Bed. You search the genre, you can search the BPM, you can search the general vibe.
She's speaking your language.
I know. But when you start with that, you're like, okay, well, maybe, and I don't do many country weddings, but, let's say they want like more of an acoustic and indie vibe, and you're going to throw that into your search engine. But if they want more like Mac Miller, and they want more like, let's go with some fast-paced hip hop, then then let's do that, right? And so that's one of my first questions on my questionnaire is like, what kind of music do you like to listen to? And I'll start listening to that music, because then we can get to the headspace of the couple and what they like to jam out to.
See, it all comes back to music and the DJ. Why we're so important, everybody.
Well, I'm going to ask you one of our favorites. Now,
yes.
This is not on the list, but
yes, it is. I added it. But go ahead.
We talk about this all the time. When you approach a DJ, and you want to patch in.
Okay.
How is that process? How do you go about doing that?
I introduce them. I'm the videographer, and then I say I need usually like a mix out. So I ask them like what they're most comfortable with. Can I just use an XLR? Do we need to pull out the RCA, the ancient RCA, or do we get a TRS cable? I have those 3 just on hand, and I'm just like, just let me know what to do. I give it to them. And then I'm like, here, I'll let you plug it in. And then we'll kind of look at it, see if it works. But I don't just do it on their board.
Unless I know them.
Unless I know them and we've worked together.
I've come back and Jody has plugged in. And I'm like, really? Okay. But my thing is, so, normally what's our next response after you say that? Are you going to send me the good clips? And do you keep your word about sharing footage with the DJ if you let you plug in today? Do you keep your word? Like, say if me and you are doing a wedding together, and I say, hey, make sure you send me some clips. I don't care if they're raw or whatever. You don't have to make me a video. Just, if you get some of me or the dance floor's hype, and I say, hey, can you send me those clips? I'll do whatever I need to with them. Do you try to keep your word and share those with the DJ?
I'll share it color graded.
Well, I don't care what you do.
Okay,
it's up to you.
Because I have done it once where I shared it raw and they didn't color grade it, and it falls back on me as the videographer.
Because they did tag you.
Mm-hmm. So I removed the
Okay,
tag.
well, I'm sorry. I just learned something. So at
Yeah.
least,
At least make it look
at
good.
least make it look. But normally, if I get a video from a blog photographer, it's usually most
But
of
no,
the times
that's a
it's
good.
post.
That is a
Yeah.
It's post
good
production.
question because
Yeah.
if the videographer
See how she tried to
doesn't
throw
think
that back
about
on
it,
us, man? Trying to throw that back on the DJ for asking for raw footage.
So what I've done instead
Uh-huh.
is I do phone BTS like a content creator would.
Uh-huh.
Just airdrop it.
Mm.
That's better for me because it saves me time, gets you the footage still, but it's like I have like let's say every vendor asks that of me.
Mhm.
That's like 14 different videos that people are asking me to create, which is a lot of time.
But I always tell them you don't have to create it. Just send me if you get a good clip.
Yeah.
That's all.
But-
So-
a hype dance for.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
but there's a really key point in that, and I think this is going to speak to what she's going back to your lecture
Mm-hmm.
the other day. Let's look at branding. So, and this just hit me when as we're talking, looking at branding. If I'm the videographer, I can't just send you anything because my name could be attached to that because you may say thanks to such and such company for sharing this
Mhm.
video and say I just sent you something. Two things that I'm doing that is wrong. One, I just sent you something. Two, I'm not taking advantage of a situation for you to market for me by sending you good material. Because, say, for instance, you're a DJ with 1 million followers. I just shot myself with a bad video that you may just take and post.
I feel you, but I think we're all so meticulous now that we will not.
Not all of us.
Most of us won't, because it's going to make us look bad too, Mike. So why would I put something out that I haven't?
I've seen it, but I've seen it.
Okay.
So now I see the meaning of this question, but I also feel like that getting the mix from the DJ is part of just the team as a whole. Like it's something that you kind of just need to do, and like I record backup audio as just like a reflex because I need it sometimes, and not a kick to all DJs. I think I work with really amazing DJs, but sometimes the DJ doesn't like put the feed in the right spot. We did always double check it, but sometimes like there was one wedding I worked recently, the DJ brought a phone instead of a mix. It didn't play the right music. He didn't have I know it was his first day. He didn't have
It was
the
his what?
first day.
First wedding.
First wedding.
And he tried to play the
music
the
on
ceremony
the phone.
off his phone.
Yeah, but grandparents came down and there was like a hip hop song playing. That wasn't right. And I was like, dang, this is a nice box for the grandparents. I'm like, this couple's cool. And then I see the planner run over to the DJ and like basically yell into his ear. I don't. I think it's just a couple. But anyway.
Put your gumbo hat down.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway. So no names are listed. We don't even know. But it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, that didn't work out. And the efficiency mic that the DJ was hooked up to didn't work because it wasn't connected or it didn't turn on or something.
Nothing more
but I had
than
these road ghosts on the couple and on the efficient. So it like still got everything for us. Yeah. So I always get backup audio. Always. You can't just rely on one source.
Well, that's why I tell my inside plug into the speaker because everything that's coming out that they're hearing, you're going to get. Some places you don't have a board or something like it. Mm-hmm. Just one of the venues I work at, they have something locked on the back of there, so it's hard to get the feed out. So I say I can't help you. You're gonna have to plug in or find a way to get it. But yeah, we just wonder about that because we say yes, we let you plug in, and then sometimes we never, and then we hit you. I have people, it's $450. I'm like, hey, what you coming with the video? Really? Come on, man.
Yeah. Well. And like Jeff is saying, sometimes it's not, there's no common curse.
Yeah.
And it's team when they need to patch in.
And then
as soon as they pull out.
It's me.
I
don't remember what you're talking about.
And who, me?
No, that's what they say. Yeah.
And it's just, and that's like one of the things that's my pet peeve. If I don't have that type of relationship with you, do not touch my board. Because I don't care what type of experience you may have.
Yeah.
If anything happens, it's on me.
Right.
And some people, I've been in situations come back, and I'm talking about they dispatched in, and it's like, well, what do you? Well, I need, because I need this for the bride. Well, sir, ma'am, I don't care what you need for the bride. There's a way about going about things. Can I
That's why I
pick up your video
like Jody
camera?
said, that thing with normalizing.
Oh, yeah, you
get to
have
know
to
everybody
get to know
before
it.
you get there, or introduce
And I think
yourself, or
it's
as soon as you walk in, hey, I'm the DJ, hey, I'm the
Right.
videographer, I'm this,
You gotta
I'm
say
the planner,
hi.
I'm the trash collector, just go say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
And another good one, God, what's that? Okay, a videographer, I was doing a wedding, he shows up, he didn't really ask me to plug in, but he had his phone on top of my speaker. He put it on top of a baseband, so he knows it's going to all be bottom. And then he told me to record the speeches and send them to him. So the next morning.
Wait, to send them to?
Yes. So, we have in our controllers, if y'all didn't know this, we can
control
record everything.
Well,
that
I
we
understand
do
that, but why didn't he have any sort of backup?
I don't know. I don't know. So I'm sitting in church. I'm sitting in church Sunday morning after the wedding, texting me early Sunday morning. Can you send me the speeches?
Yeah, he's probably freaking out because he doesn't have
his phone probably didn't get it very good.
No.
But I mean, so that would be somebody that if I reach out to him tomorrow and say, hey, do you have a video from that wedding that you can send me? And he doesn't.
He probably won't. You probably won't want that video, honestly.
But I'm saying, so now do you see why we get so upset because you want us to jump through a hoop? But then if we ask you to just pass us the hula hoop, they don't even want to pass us the hula hoop.
Well, I get asked that from DJs though, and there's nothing they have to give me. You know what I mean?
What you mean? Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like.
Well, you got to plug in, even
Yeah.
though it's a second backup or whatever.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is, I wish we could just be more cohesive. Hey, I'm not going to, I'll try to remember. Well, at least when you send it to the couple, share, send it to the planner and say, hey, can you share this out to everybody? So, because footage is costly and timely. And if you do a smack daddy, I mean, just your wedding of the year, you want that to share with everybody. Hey, this is what we did with this great team of vendors.
Yes. This is to add to that. Add to that, as the videographer, it's our job to capture the vendors in their best moments. So for the planner, it's like setting up the tablescapes and things like that, answering the questions from other vendors that come towards them. For the DJ, it's during the reception when the party is the best at its height. Everyone's dancing, drinks in their hands. They're really going for that.
I got to go watch one of your wedding videos.
Yeah, and so what I do, so in case a vendor wants me to make a cut from them for that wedding day, I have the footage of them doing their thing so that I can do that for them.
Wiggy.
Yeah, but all the DJs, they look the same, but they're like, but they have all their equipment up and everything, and they're like shouting as the MC, like making it look cool.
Everybody does it.
Everybody.
This is the first time that I've ever heard this.
No, almost
smart
every
videographers
I work
will
with
do
now
that.
do that all the time. At least they'll come get a picture of you.
Well, I'm saying what she just said. Their job or part of their responsibility is to capture every vendor, in their element.
Yeah, it's
doing
like
what they do. I've never heard that.
It's another aspect to networking. Like if you really enjoyed the work that person did, make them a cut. They can say, hey, I noticed you did really good work this day. Here's a cut for your marketing on us. Like, here you go. So people don't have to ask for it. But like the thing is,
I need 5 or 6 more, y'all. Just a couple.
No, it's not common belief.
No, I know it's not, but I'm just saying
it's smart.
It's smart though, but that's a good thing. This is why, right here. This is why she came and sat in this chair in the middle of the hot chair, because we knew she had a story to tell.
Videographers are the worst at networking. Let's be honest. Like they're not very good.
I wouldn't say that. I think as there's people bad from every. Hey, I know DJs that are horrible. I know photographers that are horrible. My wife was horrible before she started speaking out. She would always just come and say, "I work with Alliance with my company." And then one day she finally said something and her life changed. Oh, the gates of stationery opened up and now she's so busy. I feel like I work for her sometimes. So
I just don't see too many of us.
Why you say that?
Yeah, I say that because I just don't see too many of us at networking events, or there's just, I don't know, filmmaking egos are very much like they're the best vendor. Like they can't, like you can't do this wedding without me. I'm like, actually, we could. But so it's just kind of like, yeah, I've just from the people I've met, I'm like, okay, show up to places, be a kind person, like actually care about what other people are doing. Because like, yes, you might be recording the event, but there's so much, like, get to know some planners. There's so much pre-planning that goes into this day, and you show up on the day and think it's all about you. Like, no, it's everyone was involved in making this wedding come together.
That's crazy because it seems like every industry has that. So
They do, yeah, but
we got the ego sitting at home. I don't need to go. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah,
it's anywhere. You can find it in any industry.
Yeah, but sure. I didn't think y'all were the worst. Who you think? Well, let's try to see.
Let's not.
No, it might be stationers because you maybe get one or two. Maybe not a lot. You have a lot of videographers because there's always a different videographer at every, in all the different groups. All the different groups has different video. So I don't think maybe you find your space to hang out and try to build your castle with one group instead of just being in all of them.
Well, most videographers don't have videographer
castles,
groups. Right? Yeah, videographers, when they try to get together, maybe it happens like one time and then they forget to meet up again. Because we tried. And I was like, why can't we just have a consistent networking group, you guys?
So y'all don't have one in Dallas?
Not like for wedding.
Well, you have more corporate. Did you go to the thing, that video thing they had?
The Texas Production Expo.
Yeah.
I
was
went
there yesterday? Mm-hmm. I did too. And
you were there?
I went for a little bit yesterday. No, a guy who went to Vegas with us and shot all of our stuff.
Yeah, I didn't get to go.
He was up there, and I went. He was walking out, so he walked me around and showed me everything.
Yeah.
That one light that's like a piece of that big light. You know which one I'm talking about?
I have a photo of it.
Can't see it, but I have it. I was in Tennessee.
They can't?
Yeah,
it was like this big fabric light.
Right. It's like a thin piece of
fabric.
Like this.
Yeah.
And it's gonna.
And you can fold it.
And it's incredible.
It's so cool.
It is so
cool. It releases in a couple weeks, by the way. So it's like this big piece of fabric, and you fold it up.
So I'm a slight photography nerd too. I mean, some of the stuff they had was crazy.
Revolutionary.
That Canon E5 camera that the lady said we need to get eventually. They like $2,800 a camera, but
I gotta touch the Sony Burano. That was like my one goal. It's a $25,000 camera. I gotta put it on my shoulder, and I was like,
it was a nerd out place.
It really was.
It really was. It was. So I got to nerd out with Alan, and they had this one. Did you see the app that you could put in any video and it would bring it up to 4K or whatever? Those guys would tap something. I can't remember the name. But they were back in the corner and they did a presentation too. But it was a nerd out, Mike. Trust me, it was a nerd out.
I really enjoyed it.
And I said, this is not DJing, but this stuff is so cool. Man, when I saw that one thing, I mean, it's just a big old like a sheet. You just fold it up, and it's got all these light dials in it. And just imagine if we put that over us in here, man.
Oh, it'd look awesome.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. It would be cool.
RGB, so you can change the color on the app. On an app, you can just go.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
That was one of the highlights of that show. And then, some other good stuff too. And then all the associations and different things you can sign up with, and editing and production, and just a little bit.
The film commissions were there from Dallas and Fort Worth.
Yes,
if you ever need like a location for certain kind of shoots, you go to them. But yeah,
it was filmy nerdy.
Yeah, Dallas Producers Association puts it on every year, so they're great.
So we got to put it on our calendar next year.
Shout out to the DPA.
I hate I missed you. I wish I would have saw you there though.
Yeah, me too.
But that's just me. Just go. I try to take in everything, learn as much as I can. All right, is this our final question?
Yeah, we have one more question.
Yeah.
So what is a gem that you're willing to leave us with that you live by?
Yeah, so I have a quote. I pulled up.
Wow. She's watched this show.
Yeah. Because I know that you asked this question. So it's by Rosalind Carter.
Okay.
She says, a leader takes people where they want to go. A great leader takes people where they don't necessarily want to go, but ought to be.
Wow. Oh my God. And I can see that in you too, because of the way you talk about your team and the things that you want them to do and understand, and you want your team to be better. So you're not, even if they're better than you, you're trying to tell them, okay, you need to do this. Man, that's a great one. But you're cheating. Don't ever do that again.
Well, no. I have a backup. Always a backup. So
I came prepared. What do you mean I'm cheating?
She's a film person.
Yeah.
She has to prepare. She's a storyteller.
Yep.
So Do you feel like your way of thinking is the norm or is it abnormal?
I think it's normal for people I've met who are CEOs and like industry leading entrepreneurs
Okay.
to think outside of the box, think about other people, and think about, okay, is the way that I'm doing things right now actually leading towards these goals that where I see myself? Because you got to know how it ends, so you know how to begin. And so if you think through the way you make your decisions, and you're not just aimlessly trying to run your business, but you know how, whether you want to pass it on or you want to sell it, like if you know how your business is going to end, you can kind of make your decisions that way. So the way that I think is kind of in that line of things.
I like that.
Yeah.
Jeffrey?
Wow. Hey, I'm good. I mean, I'm super glad she came and sat down with us, and I enjoyed it, and she was really, great. It was a great interview.
So tell everyone where they can find you.
They
And your
can find
company
me.
and so-
Okay, cool. So I got my wedding company, which is Modern Memoir. It's modernmemoir.film. And then I got my
I like
corporate
that.
company that is heart.media. And then that's how you find me for anything corporate nonprofit events.
All right.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Young stars in the industry.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yes. And you speak as if you've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
I would say over 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
Well, I had mentors that were 10 to 15 years ahead of me. So I learned everything I could from them.
Yeah.
Still learning. Always a learner. Lifelong learner.
Yes. Forward thinking.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
All right.
Well, guys, this is another great episode with a great person.
Yeah. Not
She taught
just
us
a
a
great
thing or two.
videographer, a great person.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And she's a DJ.
No, not anymore. Forget
Hey,
who said that.
Once a DJ,
Once a DJ.
always a
I
DJ.
don't know, guys.
Yes.
Because you understand, how many people gonna sit in this chair and say BPMs?
Yes, very rare.
Very rare.
That's
Come
not
on.
in the industry.
Yeah, they won't.
Well, the blessing is this. I'll say this. It's like playing multiple sports. That other sport or baseball is going to make you a better football player. Soccer is going to make you a better basketball player. So when you know multiple things or multiple skill sets, if you pay attention, they all aid. It will help you.
Yeah. Because
So-
the way you talked about how you think about your music, that's
Mhm.
definitely from DJing.
Yeah.
Playlists, all that good stuff. Mike, take us out. We'll keep talking, man. It'll be 2 hours. We'll
Oh,
still be
yes,
here
yes,
talking.
yes.
And she needs to go get ready for one of those wonderful events or weddings she has this weekend. Yeah.
All right, guys, it was fun. Thank you for joining us. And thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.